Morning, welcome to Marchants yet again, and Lucy and myself have been taking a little walk around the garden this morning. It's a really beautiful morning, but it does feel like autumn now. We've had rain over the last week, good rain that is, and it's amazing to see how the plants are responding. But we got down to the bottom of the garden and we've been admiring this marvellous plant. Now, Lucy will have covered this with a video back in the spring when it was in flower. And you always reckon on Malus in May. And this is Malus hupehensis. It is a truly magnificent tree. And the reason why I said to Lucy, come on, let's make a video, is that I have a lovely little story about this tree. Because when I worked at Washfield Nursery with Elizabeth Strangman, Roy Lancaster, the great plantsman who was one-time curator at Hillier's Garden, he came to the nursery with a convention of Japanese nurserymen. It was all quite amusing, really, but I remember Roy pouncing off into the garden to see what trees we had, and there was one particular euonymus that I wanted him to see, and he was able to identify it for me. But when he came across the Malus hupehensis in the garden there, he went over to that tree and he hugged it with both arms, and it was really quite moving. And I think Roy more or less told us that that tree would have been one of the very, very first trees to have been collected. I think it was collected, it might have been collected by E.H. Wilson way back in the early, oh dear, I'm getting muddled now, let me think, the early 20th century, about 1908, 1910 in China, in the province of Hubei. Well, Lucy showed you the flowers, and now what she's showing you are these amazing fruits. You could imagine that they might have been fashioned by Meissen from porcelain, so beautiful are they. And they do have what I'd call, I suppose, a waxy texture, really, if Lucy's close up on the fruits here now. But of course, these are fruits, they're apples, in fact. And if we were to take you to the top of the garden, you would also see that our apples are very abundant this year. The weather would have been perfect in May for the pollination of flowers. So there we are, Malus hupehensis. Every garden should have one.